Okay, okay. Happy Tuesday. Tonight's meeting is all about the subject of follow-up. So I want to tell you guys to remember this statement. I feel like a broken record. I tell people this all the time. But this is a statement that was handed down to me, and it is so incredibly true. And it applies to every aspect of your business, including customer retention, new VIPs, and having new business builders, and just it is everything. And the vast majority of people do not do this. Okay, so if anything that you hear tonight is not meant to bring up any feelings of guilt or conviction or any of that, this is a topic that for the rest of your career and probably for the rest of your life in multiple ways, yes, Eva named it. I'm like, get a tattoo, write it everywhere. And that statement is the fortune is in the follow-up. So if you are here tonight for this meeting, you are here because you want to earn an income. And you probably want to do a really, you want to, we want to do a good job at what we do, right? We want to perfect what we're doing. We want to increase our skill level. We want to increase our learning. And that's what we're here tonight for is to, so don't let this create any feelings of scarcity or regret or any of that. So if it hits home, just know that tomorrow's a new day and that is why we are here right now. Okay. So the fortune is in the follow-up. So we have a little acronym, and that is F is for follow-up, O is for observe, R is for relationship, T is for timing, U is for understanding, N is for nurture, and E is for encourage. And I'm going to add another meaning for E, and that is everything. Just remember, it's all about the follow-up. So why follow-up is key? First, let me tell you, 48% of people in not just in network marketing, but in any type of business where they are trying to acquire a new customer, 48% of people do not follow up even one time. Of the 48% of people that do follow up, 80% of those people only follow up twice. Okay, so the percentages are very low. And something to know is 80% of sales happen on the 8th to 12th follow-up or exposure. So if you break down those statistics and you think that 48% of people don't even follow up once, and then of the people that do, very few will follow up even a second time, but most sales happen in the 8th to 12th follow-up, you can see quickly why we say the fortune is in the follow-up. So first of all, I want to assume that you have created a good offer. So we have a lot of resources in this group on what a good offer is. I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on different ways that you can follow up. But one thing I want you to remember is that when you make an offer, it's the beginning of a conversation, ideally. And so we have a guide in Rising Diamonds that is called Plexus Conversations or the OATS system. If you're new here, go back and reference that so you can know how to create the initial question if somebody's willing to take a look at or open or interested, or if they have any needs for what we have to offer, whether it's product-wise or business-wise. So people need multiple touch points before they make a decision. Common fears and mindset shifts around the reluctancy that people have to follow up, which is very normal, is they have a fear of being pushy. So that's one of the really big reasons why people fail to follow up. So a fear of rejection, okay, a fear of being pushy. They will actually, sometimes if you look at the reasons why a person will not follow up, it's because They actually feel like they have a chance with that person and they don't want to get the no. So that's why they don't want to follow up. Okay, they feel uncomfortable. So
Could I
instead,
add something
yes,
here
yes.
on this fear of seeming pushy or salesy? There's this interesting shift that happens, right? Like if we were selling, if we were an employee in a clothing store, let's say a high-end boutique clothing store, we know our job is to sell and serve the customers in the store as an employee of this store. And so there's no hesitations. Like if you go into a Nordstrom, they're trying to ask you if you need anything. Can they help you? Can they get your size? What are you here for? What are you looking for? It's very service based and you understand their role. I think that with Plexus, I find create reminding myself I am a brand rep for this company. It is truly my job to serve the person well, and part of that is that follow up system, right? Following the follow up. I don't look at it as I'm asking them to do something for me. That's when we shift into a salesy. I need their sale. They're doing it for me. It's me focused. I truly view myself, and I would challenge you to do you view yourself this way? And if you're on this call, you should, and you probably do. Own it. You are a brand representative for Plexus. Your job is to connect people's problems to a possible solution. And they get served, you get paid for doing that job. If you were an employee of Plexus, you wouldn't think twice about following up well with customers, right? Or people that you're talking to because you would so own that role. So I would just encourage you when you're questioning yourself, am I being salesy? Are you thinking about you or are you thinking about their best needs? If they told you, yeah, I'd be interested in info, or if they said, I have eczema or I have this, or send me the video and they've given you that nod of interest, it is your job, if you're serving them well, to continue to follow up on that. And it also shows that you're passionate about what you offer. The person who never checks back in, they're the ones who aren't serious about the thing that they have, right? So it's a shift in a perspective of how you're looking at what you're doing.
Yes. And I would add that mindset shift. Learn to love the follow-up. Like think about the people that you know. Like I see somebody on the call right now, Sam, and she connected somebody that her and I met with that now is interested in the business. And this girl had a really awful health condition. And so she has gotten such great results with the products, and the business is going to be very good for her. And so when I sat down with San, with this person, I'm excited for the fact that San followed up on her. Like, think about the stories behind, think about your own story. In most cases, somebody had to follow up on you. Um, so I would challenge you to really what we're going to talk about a lot tonight is what Amber brought up, which is taking yourself out of the situation and really thinking about them. I think when we have nervousness in our follow up and we think of it as transactional and like we're on a mission to have a new VIP or a new builder, that can actually like limit our listening skills and that's and our reading skills if we're getting something through text from them. So we're going to talk about that tonight too. So yeah, you want to shift your fear of being pushy into serving and guiding, and you want to change the fear of rejection um, to reframing it as not yet. I love being a part of somebody's story. I am so totally fine with somebody saying no because I've been behind so many follow-up situations. And if you are new and you have not yet, that is why listening to other people's stories matter. They matter because it brings you into the moment with that person. And so with the F, follow up consistently. So that is one of the big things. Like I've had people tell me that they forget who they reached out to, or, they're not good with their tracking system. We're here to help you get better. So if that is a hindrance for you, use old-fashioned pen and paper. Find a way to track it. The fortune is in the follow-up, and it's worth it for you to get a little more organized if that's the thing that you've struggled with. The O is for observe and listen. And Amber, interrupt anytime. Okay. Um, Communication skills really come down to listening, and those will be developed over time. When you have a fear of rejection, if they don't say in their response, sure, I want to buy right now, a lot of times you will take that as a no, when really they've given you an objection, which an objection is like a gift. If somebody tells you why they have a hesitation, that is wonderful. That means that they feel comfortable telling you what their hesitation is, and you have an opportunity to answer that. So learn to read, reread, and listen to the responses. And if you're in person, I'm going to tell you guys, this is so true. Learn to be quiet and listen to what the person is saying without an agenda going on in your head at the same time. Think of it exactly like what Amber said. You are attempting to solve their problem. And if you don't know what their problem is, have you ever talked to somebody when they just have an agenda and they have something they want to say to you, but they're not really listening to you? But if you feel like you can be um, comfortable and open with them and bring them what your issues are, and they address those specific issues, not other things, and you really feel like you've been heard, that's a conversation that you want to have. So that I always, when I listen, I always go back to the pain point that they originally brought me, not one that I think they should have. Sometimes you get the pain point, and let's say their pain point is they're tired and they're tired during the day, they crave sugar, they can't sleep at night. You want to go to them with a bunch of information on gut health, and now you're going on a microbiome journey with them rather than going back to the original pain points that they brought to you. You can connect why we are the solution, but you always want to go back to the original pain points that they brought to you. Um, so R's for relationship over transaction. So some of your follow-up is just staying in relationship with them. So it can be saying happy birthday to them, commenting on their posts, following up in a way that feels natural, not robotic. If sometimes a lot of people will say, are there any copy paste for follow-up? Well, follow-up should be a conversation. So there aren't really copy paste for follow-up. And we'll get to some ways that you can follow up with exposure, but it's not going to, it just needs to stay natural and within the conversation. Layering exposures through your social media is one thing that's really overlooked by a lot of people. And that is you are doing social proof when you show different people's results, different people's stories, whether you're talking about the business or the products. So don't keep it just focused on you. If you are trying to expose people, you want to show them all the multitudes of people and all the various different situations that people have been helped with through Plexus. And the U is for understanding their journey. Not everyone moves at the same speed. And this is where stories come in. So I'm going to give you a couple follow-up stories that are specific to me, and then hopefully Amber has a few. So I had a friend, and she had a thyroid condition, and I was talking to her about how Plexus could help her with her thyroid condition. I sent her so many testimonies. I sent her so many different articles. She told me no. And I just said, hey, I want you to know I saw this again. I know you told me no, but I saw this again. And then I made it kind of funny. Like, hey, it's me again. I know you told me no, but I just saw this other woman's stories. Are you sure you do not want to give this a try? I know this is something that you're struggling with. We had a relationship where we could laugh about it, but I didn't stop sending her stories. And then her results ended up being amazing and great. They just took time. I probably sent her 20 things over the course of a year before she took a look. So that's a story. And my friend Claudia, she actually recently started the business. She didn't have an interest or a need. So Bob Heilig, he says everybody has a 12 o'clock, whether they have the 12 o'clock is a time when they realize their need for Plexus, whether it's health wise or whether it's business wise. I don't know if Claudia is on the call tonight, but I can just tell you she did not have a financial need. She's just somebody I wanted to do the business with me because I like her. I see that she's influential. She's not, even though they didn't have an income need, she's not like lunch with the ladies type of person. She's very purpose driven and she has like something in her that is her wanting to contribute to people and her wanting to develop herself. Like she's always doing that. And so, and she just contributes to our community and contributes to other people. And I was like, she would be so cool to work with. I asked her for 5 years to take a look. Okay. And she knew I wanted her. She knew why. She just wasn't ready. She has recently jumped all in. She's all in. Okay. And that is just if you start a conversation with somebody, if you really believe what you have will help them with their health issue, or if you really think they'd be good at the business, why would you ever stop following up or talking to them? Why would you? The only reason you would, really, I'm sorry, but it's because you're kind of selfish. It's selfish on your part. I hate to say it. And time is an issue, and maybe you need to move on to somebody else. But if you really know that you have something that somebody would love and you care about that person, you are going to stay in a follow up process with them. So, this other person, I'll give you an example of a way to follow up. This girl, I want to work with her. Okay. She's on the products. She's really liking the products. I got her to watch not this Monday's event, but last Monday's event. And I said, could you see yourself doing this? What did you think? And she said, maybe at some time, but not right now. You know what I think? I think, yes. She said, you listened to it. And she said, maybe at some time. So it's my job to continue to expose and tell her why. And I might start with her with just a +1. I'm actually going to message her tomorrow and I'm going to say, hey, I know you said you can't think of anybody, but you really enjoy the reset. Who would you want to give a free reset to? We only have it available until the 15th. Who do you think of? Like, I'm going to go back in that conversation and just try to get a +1. That is part of follow up. That's part of getting a builder on board. Um, Same thing. I'm in a three-way text right now. And then Amber, maybe you have a few examples before we go to the next point. Um, I'm in a three-way text right now with somebody that was a good prospect, good business prospect, good product prospect. Got on a call with her, did a Zoom with her, and we were going for the business and the products. She told me, this is where listening came in. She was interested in the reset. She told me she really liked the befores and afters. Okay. So tomorrow when I follow up, because she's just ghosting us, not saying anything, I'm going to follow up with my impression of her on the call and a few more befores and afters because I know she said she'd like to see those. And so that's what it means with like if your follow-up is connecting to the previous conversation. And then I'll probably ask a question like I might send some guy ones in there because she's a woman, and I might say it's men have all the luck though, huh? Like look at that. You don't have that much weight to lose, so obviously haha, try to get like a response from her because that was part of what we talked about on the call. um So Amber, do you have any stories? Those were my stories.
I mean, I think we all have stories, right? Raise your hand if you've ever followed up on someone that told you no and then they decided to order. Like for everyone that has their camera on, yes, like we all have so many stories, right? So we know this pretty much every single person that especially is building with me, builders, I think take more follow-up than customers because of that belief that you have to build in them. And this is what I want to say. The person that is the best at follow-up is the person that has the most vision, right? If you have a strong vision for where you are going and for what you are inviting people in with, you're going to come to the conversation. It's not about verbiage or what you say, it is the energy that you bring because of your excitement and your vision for where you're going. So, mom's really effective at follow up because she will take that person and go, you might be saying no to me now, but I know you would be incredible at this. And she pictures them doing the business and having the influence and having success. And she can visually see them and she's so excited by it. And she brings that into the conversation, and people know that and feel that. Right. So I would ask you, if you're trying to improve your follow up, it is not in a copy paste verbiage. It is in where you believe you're going and what you are inviting people into, right? So I think the best thing for follow up would be every single day. Are you literally closing your eyes or having a vision board that you stare at and you picture and you think of yourself and your people around you that are emeralds and rubies on your team, and you're envisioning this? And then you go into your conversations, and you go into your conversations with not, I'm going to go do my follow up. It's, I am so excited to go talk to women about whether they're ready for this or not. Like, I'm so excited to go inspire some women and raise their interest levels because this of where I'm going, right? It's not, I'm going to go work, I'm going to go message, I'm going to go follow up. It's, I'm so excited to go inspire some people. And then jump into your conversations and do this. Close your eyes, think of that person that said, oh, maybe, but I'm so busy with being a teacher, but I really do love the idea. Picture them saying yes to you, picture their needs that could be met, the time with their kids, like dwell on that, and then send them a voice message. Hey, I just want to tell you, I was thinking about you. I had this picture in my head of you being able to do that thing you told me you want to do, or travel and putting all the kids, getting a motor home, whatever it is. Like, give them that vision that you have and how this could really serve you in that. And I know that maybe you think you don't have time, or I know that it might seem like this big thing, but would you do me a favor and listen to one simple thing I want to send you and tell me if it just ignites something in you like it did me, right? And then they say, okay, yes, they can hear that passion for you, for them. And then you send them a Monday call, which are so good, right? Where you send them a story. So that would be my biggest tip on the how to with conversation with people is having that vision for them and bringing that into the conversation.
Yes. And so, and then to wrap it up, the N is nurture with value. So send relevant information, personalize it, be there when it's their 12 o'clock. Another story is I was talking to a diamond in Plexus. She's diamond. And she had a funny story to tell me. She was like, I should have been on your team, but I'm not because the person on your team that was reaching out to me stopped following up. I told her to stop following up on me, so she stopped. Okay. And what happened with her, what her 12 o'clock was, is she didn't think she was interested in Plexus. She got diagnosed with something. And then a different friend was actually layering different types of exposures and shared something about that condition that she was diagnosed with in on her social media. And so that's one thing to keep in mind too, is you don't know what's going on in the lives of the people that you are reaching out to or their family members. So if you only post about one thing, like I post about digestive health, hormones, and weight loss a lot. I don't tend to post a lot about acne or anything like that because that's not what I personally relate to the most. So keep your exposures, like vary them, because somebody's 12 o'clock that you've been talking to, or maybe their sister or their brother or whatever. We need to show all the different things that Plexus can do, not just the thing that's near and dear to you and not just you. We're going to cover social media a lot more in a different training meeting, but I want to point that out. Like, what you post is a way to expose people, and that is a way to follow up. Not everyone is going to look at your social media though. Not everyone, like the algorithm isn't going to show it all the time, or they're not going to take the time to. So exposure, follow up, a lot of that is person to person conversation. And just what Amber said too, like being able to cast that vision and get in what their life could be for them and get excited. Like, I get excited for people. And so then the E is the encouragement and the everything. Like, seriously, everything is about follow up. And that is it. Great. I'm waiting for Amber to close us. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.
Oh, sorry. Okay, practical tips then. Go do that with, we have the sales till the 15th. So we have 4 days left. 4 days left for free reset for $1 VIP membership. This is when you go back to everyone since what, November, that you've been talking to that has said maybe, I don't know, kind of, sort of, here, there. Do for them, but also, like mom said, the plus one. Hey, I just wanted to reach out again. I know you said you couldn't think of anyone at the time, but this only has 4 days left, and you have a link you can send a friend to get a free reset. Is that something that has anyone come to mind? Or would you do me a favor? My business runs on referrals. Would you post about your experience with the reset this month or last month and your results? That's another one, right? Because that would be such a blessing to me, and I'm sure maybe someone in your network would also find that super helpful because there's only 4 days left on this. And then have them post, have them tag you, and if someone comments, walk them through the conversation. Hey, here's how to make a cart. Just go to your shopping cart, put this and this in it, and send them the link. Cut out all the extras. Cut out all the decisions they might have to make, or make it as streamlined as you can for them. But yeah, they're like, off to do follow-up. All right, there's our blessing. Off to do your follow-up. Use the last 4 days like it's the end of February. If it was the end of February, how would you use the last 4 days? That's the kind of energy you take into it, right? All right.